Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'll be reviewing the Richard Mille RM1702 manual winding tourbillon. In blue ceramic. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of this watch and where it stands in the lineup of other similar 1702s, manual wind tourbillons. Then I'll tell you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with just a little history. Now the RM 1702 came about it's a direct successor of the RM 1701. The 1702 came out in approximately 2022. That was when it was released. And I'll go through a couple differences. It's a direct successor of the 1701, which was released in 2020. Yeah, it's not a very long time. Actually, the 1701 and the 1702, they pretty much look the same. You can't tell a whole lot of difference. I'll tell you what I see as a difference when I go through it, but not a lot of difference. And they're only separated by 2 years. In fact, some of the 1701s are still being produced currently as of 2026, even though there's a successor to a 1702. And so there's not much difference between the two. But there is some difference. And this one's part of the 1702 collection. It was they released it initially with just some the black and white cases of ceramic cases. They also did a rose gold and titanium. This one happens to be in blue, and I think all the ceramic ones are limited to 30 pieces. And this one in particular, it's blue ceramic. It was made in 2023, only for 1 year. They released 30 pieces. Yes, that's right, 30 pieces worldwide, and that's it. And then they did 30 in white, I think 30 in black. I think the titanium is not limited. And they do some other versions of it in gold with diamonds and such. Yeah, and they probably will do more versions of it throughout the years in different configurations and stuff. But yeah, the basic colors and such are all done. Black, white, blue. They even did it like a bronze or greenish one. Or yeah, I think it was brown ceramic or something in the 1701. So they did a lot of different variations, which is not surprising because they also do it, with carbon TPT. So a lot of different configurations. This one just happens to be in the blue configuration with rose gold sides. They don't do it in any other configuration. And I'll go through why I think that's pretty cool of them to do it this way when I go through it. Okay, so now you got a little idea of how this watch stacks up in terms of where it compares to other 1701s, right? Now, all these ones, since they're tourbillons, they have this little thing in the center that fights gravity and helps to keep the watch ensuring the most accurate time no matter what position the watch is in. It's got to have a hefty price tag. Now, almost all the tourbillons start close to $1 million. This ceramic one is retailing for something like $920,000 US plus tax. It pretty much brings you at $1 million price tag. Now the good thing for you is that we are selling this watch in the 600s. I think it's 680 or something like that, at least of 2026, and it's very difficult to get. So not only do you get a discount from the retail, but you also get you can get the item. You can't even get the item at RM. And so, yeah, most likely we can get it. I'm not going to say for sure, but very likely we can. If we can't get the blue one for you, we can get probably the black or the white or some other configuration. But at least we can get it, and it's going to be less than retail. So that is definitely a bonus, because nowadays buying Tonneau-shaped watches at Richard Mille is pretty much impossible. So, yeah, this would be a cool one. Okay, let's talk about this watch. Now that you got an idea of the history, and of course, I didn't go beyond 2020 and tell you more history because it's not a history lesson. But Richard Mille has a long history of doing amazing tourbillons, and this is right now the current evolution of that Tourbillon line. Okay, so let's start talking about the watch, starting with the case itself. This one's in blue ceramic, and this is using the same size case as the RM10. Yeah, the RM10. Now the RM10 and the RM29 are going to be really small watches. When I say really small, I mean really small for RM. But I'm going to say that they have the best case size. Why? First, let's look at the case length from top to bottom. I guess you could call it lug to lug, is 48 millimeters. Just to give you some reference, a Daytona is around 47 millimeters. The bigger RMs are 50 millimeters. The RM72 Lifestyle is around 48 millimeters, and so is the RM67 Extra Flat, around 48, 47 millimeters. So at 48 millimeters, it's not as big, and those 2 millimeters, believe me, they make a difference and make the watch fit for most people who have, let's say, you have a wrist size of 7.5 or smaller. I would say actually the RM10 or 29, or in this case the RM17 case is going to be better. A case length of 48 is much better, and it has a case width of 40, so it's not like it's small. 40 is the size of a Submariner, right? So it's long, and it's a long watch, and hence it's called this is a tonneau shaped, Tonneau, tonneau shaped case. It has this signature Richard Mille case, and then if you look at the thickness, 13 millimeters, not thick at all. So this, in my opinion, really it's a best. Even a AP offshore is 14.5 to 15.5 millimeters. A Daytona is 12 millimeters. This is packing a function selector along with a tourbillon, and it looks like a 3D dial. It looks like one of the craziest watches, actually, I think that RM makes. So, and the dimensions on it are absolutely perfect. Something that you could definitely wear every day. There's a lot of watches that they make that are just too gigantic, to be honest, and can't be worn every day, and actually kind of even look ridiculous, to be honest, when you do wear them. So this watch at this dimension, size, and everything, it really is the most beautiful. Okay, that's not changed from the RM 1701 to the 1702. They did do some different materials with the 1701. Actually, come to think of it, I think they do the same materials in the 1701 and 1702. Here is what is different, what I've noticed when I've looked at them side by side and trying to figure out what's the difference. The movement actually looks pretty much the same. Let's look at the movement right now. And what do you see about it? Well, first, I think I noticed, if you look at the gears and such, they're done in gold. Yeah, that's right. And they contrast that. If you look at the base plate and the bridges, the base plate is what the movement actually sits on. The bridges is what connects things, as the name implies. And those are done with titanium, and titanium because it gives you the lightest. But then they've taken the titanium and colored it black. That's right, black. And that's what I've noticed. The difference between the 1701 and the 1702 is that the movement looks different. You don't see this blackened titanium on the 1701. The 1701 dial, it just looks like regular steel or whatever it is they use to make the movement, but it's a steel color beneath it. You don't really see any color. It's actually looks like the same movement, but without the color. Here, all the color, you see this, it has a beautiful contrast. And that's what I think is that they provide these rose gold hands, and I think these other parts here, like the wheels and such, I think they're either made of gold or some gold tone, but at any rate, the color itself is gold, so it's black against gold. You don't see that kind of craziness in movements usually. Usually it's just a simple, boring steel color, or just a simple color, or even no color, really. But I like how they did that here. And then they have, on top of that, they've made these bridges, and also where the tourbillon is held, they've done it in blue to match the rest of the case. And I just find that level of attention to detail quite fantastic. I mean, kind of to be expected given the amount of money that this watch costs. They're asking nearly $1 million after tax. So yeah, quite a beautiful movement. I did notice though that blue does stay the same on the other materials such as white or black ceramic and such, but not a bad thing. It's the blue color is quite beautiful. Okay, and what else I noticed about this dial is that it has such depth. It's crazy. 13 millimeters is not much by all means, but it is looks like it could be like 15, 16 millimeters in depth because there's so many layers to it. So let's peel back some of these layers and describe some of these things, what they are. Let's start with the 12 o'clock. This is where the hairspring is, and the barrel is right here, okay? And the barrel is where the energy is stored. So as the watch gets wound, by the way, it's a manual wind. So as the watch gets wound, which I'll show you in just a second, okay? As the watch gets wound, the coil in this barrel tightens. Right now, it's fully, you can see it, and as you tighten it, it gets tighter. And the barrel is this spring that's behind this gold-toned wheel. And as you see, those bridges, either they're decorative or not, I'm not sure, but they're blue. To the right of that, you actually have a power reserve. The red at the top means it has no battery left, and that red means that your danger zone, as in almost out of power. And the bottom, it says 60, 20, 40, 60, and then that's hours. So when it's fully wound, it's at 60, and then when it's out of power, it's at red. Okay, here you have the seconds. In the center, you have this the minute and the second hand. There's no minute and hour hand, no seconds. Okay, and then on the right, so this is how the function selector works. When you pull the crown out one click like this, it moves the function selector over to W. That's where you wind it. And if you simply wind the crown in the clockwise position, it winds the watch and powers it. If you pull it out one more, the function selector goes to the left, which is H, that stands for hours, and then you can change the time. Yeah, that's the function selector. So it tells you what position you're at. Okay, let's look at the bottom now. The bottom here is going to be the actual tourbillon itself, and it's just beautiful to see the tourbillon moving, and it's a flying tourbillon, meaning you don't see it anchored with anything. It just looks like it's almost flying, but it's actually held in together by the center. All right, and if you just look at that, it's just, to me, it's like one of the most beautiful tourbillons on the market. It looks really fantastic. And then if you look here at the center again, you have the blue. These bridges are all made of titanium, but then they color it to give it this blue color to it. And really, I think it just looks amazing. All right, let's also I forgot to look at this crown, by the way. Usually the crown on these kind of watches are going to be some kind of rubber to make it easier to press. But here it's actually done in black ceramic, probably to match the bezel, the insert of the bezel I see here, which the inner part of the bezel is also in black. But yeah, anyways, the touch point here is in ceramic. Pretty nice. Okay, so that's the dial. Oh yeah, by the way, these numbers, they're actually can you get this? They take sapphire and they print it on the sapphire. It's amazing that, so that you really get this floating look. So you have these bridges, these the tourbillon, all the extra functions, and it ends up making the watch really look like it has massive depth to it. And it does, but it looks much more than 13 millimeters would suggest. All right, let's look at the back of the movement here now as well. Now you see all the bridges are done with this beautiful, they're all made of titanium. They're painted or some kind of treated in some way to make it blue, right? Which also just looks incredible. There's no rotor on the back of this thing because, as I said, you wind it to start it up. All right. Let's look at the case. I forgot to show you on the case, since we were talking about it. Remember I told you it was 13 millimeters? Well, the case is actually done in rose gold, and I told you I'd come back to it. Look at how the rose gold on the side of the case matches the dial. So the dial has rose gold on the hands and such, and all those gears, and it matches the crown and the side of the case. So you do get a splash of gold, and of course, which brings me to my next point. Let's look at the buckle. The buckle's also done in rose gold, which I just think, wow, what a way to do it. And actually, I noticed this about this watch in particular. Look at the buckle. Usually, when they do the buckle itself, the part that you open up is not in gold. Usually, just the buckle is in gold. As I remember, I think it's usually that way. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure my memory serves me correct. The buckle itself is usually all in titanium, whereas the part that shows on the outside can be in rose gold. But I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, it's your standard RM strap and buckle. Okay, time to try this watch on my wrist and also give you my thoughts. I think I want to save enough time for this. Now, Richard Mille is my favorite brand. I think they do out of this world watches. In fact, I know they do out of this world watches. They do such amazing watches with such high quality, beauty, you know, out of this world. But why would you choose this one? I'll tell you why. Well, because when it comes to watches that actually can fit on people's wrists, I'm going to say those people who have a wrist size of 7.5 or smaller, it's only their small and medium watches that really fit, if you ask me. Anything big, I don't really think it looks that good in, and it's not in fashion at the moment. So what are the small ones? The 6701, the extra flat, okay, but that's got basically no complication, actually no complication. Then you have the 6702, which is extra flat, also again, no complication. And then you have the RM10 and 29, which are really old, no complication, which is a great size, by the way, okay? And then you have the RM 7201 Lifestyle, which has a chronograph. Okay, I give it that. That one's a nice one, and it's a nice size. Best size, if you ask me. And then, what else? Nothing. All the other ones are going to be bigger. They're going to be the RM 30, 3001, RM 5501, 3503, and so on. Those are all going to be middle size. This is going to only be small, but small is the one that fits everybody. And if you, and on top of that, this is the only small one that's going to have a complication. All those other ones I told you didn't have complications. This one has a complication, with, I guess, exception of 72. But that's just a chronograph. Well, there's a lot of chronographs out there. You know, this one has a real complication. Tourbillon, function selector, you know, power reserve, etc. And it looks super complicated. So, and on top of that, so first is the size. Second is that you get a watch that is less than retail. That's not very common with RM. So you can get this watch under retail, a lot under retail too. Several $100,000. I consider that a lot of money, you know. So yeah, and so I'm definitely going to give it, for that reason, 2 thumbs up. And you know, this watch is not going to be for everybody, right? Let's be honest. Not everybody, even though it's discounted heavily from retail. Retail's almost $1 million tax and retail, and we're selling it for in the 600s. Yeah, I mean, most people, even though it's saving $300,000, still cannot afford a $600,000 or almost $700,000 watch, me included. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, yeah, it's a great bargain. Yeah, it is a bargain if you have, like, you know, $700,000. Yes, but for those people who do, which obviously some people do, it is a nice watch, a beautiful watch. And so if you would like to buy it, I would be happy to sell it to you. You can simply click on the link in the description below and buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.